The woman woke up in bed with a shirtless stranger and immediately realized her mistake. She had drunk too much the night before, stumbled into the wrong hotel room, and been taken advantage of by the man now sleeping beside her. It was her first time, and now it was over.
喝酒喝太多了，这才走错房间上错床，被这狗男人找得可乘之机。那可是我的第一次，现在不是哭的时候，赶紧想办法溜了先。
Deciding it wasn't the time to cry, she carefully slipped out of bed and planned to leave before he woke up. She gathered her clothes and her bag, but just as she was about to go, her phone rang. It was her friend asking where she had disappeared to. The woman quickly hung up, terrified the noise had woken the man. She fled the room just as the man, a wealthy CEO, began to stir. He was annoyed, thinking a business partner had sent her.
到底是哪个女人这么有本事，能让总裁破戒？总裁，你的西装。
And when his assistant arrived, he ordered him to check the surveillance and find the woman who had been in his room. Back at home, the woman stretched and noticed red marks on her neck. Looking in the mirror, she saw the bruises the man had left. Worried he might have given her a disease, she decided to go to the hospital for a checkup. At the hospital, a nurse called her name and led her to an exam room. She walked in, and her world froze. The doctor behind the desk was the same man from the hotel. She panicked, realizing the world was smaller than she thought. She tried to lie and said she had the wrong room and that she was there to see a female doctor, but he stopped her. He explained the female doctor had an emergency and he was covering for her. He asked for her name and age and questioned her about her symptoms. When she vaguely mentioned pain in her thigh, he typed on his computer and then told her to lie on the exam bed and take off her pants so he could check.
什么问题导致的？
就
性生活？你去那边床上躺下，把裤子脱了，我给你检查检查。
医生，非得脱裤子才能检查吗？
Just as she was about to refuse, the door opened and an older woman in a doctor's coat walked in and scolded him for seeing her patients. The woman introduced herself as the doctor she was supposed to see and explained the man was her son who was just helping out. She apologized and offered to do the exam herself, leaving the first woman stunned by the unbelievable turn of events. After the older doctor came in, the man insisted he had already examined the woman thoroughly. His mother found it strange, since her son was a notorious neat freak who avoided women and didn't have a single female friend. She touched the woman's neck, pointed out the bruises, and mistakenly assumed her boyfriend had caused them. She angrily called the unseen boyfriend a brute while her son nervously tried to stop her.
怎么啦？我帮小姑娘出气，你急什么？
医生，我现在要去取药了。
The woman, eager to escape the awkward situation, made an excuse about needing to get a prescription and left. As she walked away, the doctor's mother commented on how pretty she was and lamented that she was with such a terrible man. After the woman left, the mother tried to set her son up with a colleague who had just returned from studying abroad, but he brushed her off and quickly left. Finally free, the woman called a car. To her horror, the driver was the same man from the hotel and the hospital. He ordered her to get in, and when she refused, he threatened to publicly say she had climbed into his bed. Defeated, she got in the car. Inside, she was tense and nervous. When he leaned over to fasten her seatbelt, she flinched, thinking he was going to do something else. She told him their encounter was a misunderstanding and that she would not hold him responsible. She cautiously asked if he had any diseases and assured him she was healthy since it was her first time. He sarcastically asked if she thought he wasn't a virgin, and she replied that he seemed very experienced.
你说什么？
你放心，我是第一次，绝对不会有的。
我就不是了。
你也是第一次，可是你看起来好像很厉害的样子。
你是想夸我技术好吗？
既然现在误会都已经解开了，可以分道扬镳。
He demanded her contact information, and when she reluctantly gave it to him, he saved her number and handed her his business card. Reading his name, Fu Mingxiu, she realized it was the same as the city's wealthiest family. He denied any connection and drove her home. A week later, she was out to dinner with a friend complaining about her sleazy boss.
圆圆，你也该找个男朋友了，他就不敢骚扰你了。
说的倒是，可是该去哪儿找呢？
看什么呢？这么入迷？粉裙子那个？
你呀，
这么漂亮的妹子，你不追，我可追了。
When the man and his friend sat at a nearby table, his friend noticed the woman and said she was beautiful and that he was going to pursue her, but Fu Mingxiu followed the woman as she left the restaurant and confronted her outside her car. As the woman left the restaurant, she was harassed by a sleazy man who tried to get her number. Just as he cornered her, Fu Mingxiu appeared. The harasser, intimidated, quickly fled. Fu Mingxiu watched the woman with a cold expression. thinking about how she had claimed to have a boyfriend just a week after promising to be with him. He decided she was lying and tried to follow her as she hurried away, but his friend stopped him.
怎么了，兄弟？来大姨夫了？
嘴巴这么碎，需不需要我给你找个人帮你毒哑？
这不是关心你吗？表白失败了。
Later at the restaurant, the woman tried to pay for her meal, but Fu Mingxiu stepped in and paid for both of them. He told her to transfer him the money, but she did not have his contact info. He revealed he already had her details, which surprised both her and her friend. After paying, he showed her a QR code to add him and walked away before she could say anything.
太有范儿了！
我跟他不熟啊。
你要是交了这么帅的男朋友，多威风啊！再也不怕那个渣男骚扰你了。
我看得上人家，人家也未必看得上我。
At home that night, he got the money transfer notification from her. Less than a week after their encounter, she had a boyfriend, yet she still agreed to his proposition, making him believe she was a player. He decided to give her another chance. He texted her asking if her boyfriend minded them meeting, and she replied asking if he still wanted to go through with their agreement. He set a date at a luxurious villa.
明晚7点在这等你。
玉明湾别墅区，居然能这么有钱！我会准时赴约，给你转的账，别忘了领。
不用，当作给你的车费。
Meanwhile, at her office, her boss tried to ask her out, but she rejected him, saying she had a boyfriend. That night, she arrived at the villa, and Fu Mingxiu, surprised to see her, greeted her with a cold and distant stare. Across the room sat the very man who had forced her into this life, and he was staring straight at her.
这段时间有没有陪过别人？
没有，
那除了我以外，有没有跟别的男人亲过嘴？
没有，
跟你男朋友还没有亲嘴？
我要回家了。
回家？
He had been drinking with friends and couldn't stop thinking about the woman he'd spent the night with. His friend noticed his distraction and teased him, saying he must have fallen in love.
要不要一起来玩牌？你这最近是遇到什么事儿了？怎么总是魂不守舍呢？
那个，你有没有过一个女人总是在你脑海，想忘就是忘不掉？
你居然恋爱了？谁家的千金能让你相似成别？说说让大伙听听。
He brushed it off, saying he just needed to meet more women. So his friend called for a lineup of girls to be brought into their private room. Meanwhile, the woman arrived at the bar for her first night of work, desperate to pay off the crushing debt he had dumped on her. Her colleague handed her a revealing dress, and she immediately wanted to leave. Her friend guilted her, saying she'd already promised the manager she would work. With no choice, she was led into the private room, and her eyes locked with his. She was horrified. Before she could react, another man in the group singled her out and told her to come sit with him.
就你了，别低头了，都来这儿了，还害羞个锤子，陪我喝两杯。
我今天还有事，我要回家了。
不好意思啊，他今天刚来，有点紧张，我留下来陪他一起。里面没事的，不用紧张，你就负责端茶倒水就好了，绝对没事。
When she refused, her colleague forced her to stay and serve the man drinks. He got handsy, leaning in to smell her hair and grabbing her arm. He told her that after she drank, she should kiss him. When he leaned in for the kiss, she fought back and slapped him hard across the face, stunning the whole room. But the only reaction that mattered was the cold, unreadable stare from the man who now knew she was working in a bar to pay him back. The woman slapped the man across the face, but he didn't flinch. He grabbed her arm with a grip like steel and warned her she would learn the consequences of rejecting him. Just as he lunged, another hand shot out and caught his wrist. It was the man she'd spent the night with. He told the other man to let her go in a cold, commanding voice. A tense standoff followed, but the man backed down.
他以前对女人都不感兴趣的，今天这傅明修什么情况？
这傅少看上的女人，你就别抢了。
算了，我也认栽了。喝酒，喝酒，喝酒。
The man then turned to the woman, took her hand, and led her out of the bar. Outside, he scooped her into his arms and carried her to a dazzling private room. He demanded to know why she was working in a place like that. She said his colleague had tricked her, promising a legitimate, well-paying job. He called her a fool for believing such an obvious lie, but she fired back that she owed him 50,000 yuan. He then asked about her boyfriend and why he wasn't helping her. She said proudly that she had her own hands and feet and didn't need a man to fix her problems. As she turned to leave, he grabbed her arm and forbade her from ever working in a place like that again. He pointed out her revealing dress and warned it was dangerous to take a taxi alone dressed like that.
天黑了，要不要我送你回家？
不用了，我自己打车回去。
穿成这样，打车？当什么呀？该看的不该看的我都看过了，
He then took off his jacket and draped it over her shoulders, his touch sending a shiver down her spine. After being slapped, the woman stared in shock as her colleagues looked on. It turned out the whole thing played into a bigger plan. Lin Yuan had just come back to the office when she heard her colleague Ma Xiaoqian spreading nasty lies about her. Ma Xiaoqian claimed Lin Yuan had gone to a nightclub, drunk with several men, and left with one to get a hotel room. Believing the rumors, the other colleagues called her two-faced and shameless. But the truth was different. The night before, a rich man had insisted on driving Lin Yuan home. During the slow car ride, he admitted his family was pressuring him to get married.
被家人催婚烦了，就跟兄弟们出来聚一聚。
我还以为你是出来选妃的呢。你不想解释的话，可以不用说的。
When she joked he was out choosing a concubine, he got strangely defensive. At the end of the ride, he gave her his jacket, but told her condescendingly she had to wash it before returning it, as if she dirtied it just by wearing it. Annoyed, she got out of the car thinking he was crazy. Back in the office, Ma Xiaoqian kept up her tirade and even called Lin Yuan a disgusting, promiscuous slut. That's when Lin Yuan slapped her. But she wasn't done. She said she would sue Ma Xiaoqian for slander and pulled out her phone to call the police. Terrified, Ma Xiaoqian suddenly claimed it was all a joke. It was too late. Lin Yuan revealed she had secretly recorded the whole conversation. Realizing Ma Xiaoqian had lied, the other colleagues turned on her. Humiliated and furious, Ma Xiaoqian stormed out vowing revenge. Just as Lin Yuan thought the drama was over, her manager appeared and ominously summoned her to his office.